welcome back to the Presence of Being podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback that I have been getting on all of the content and the podcast in particular. It really does mean a lot to me. I read all the messages that I get, all the comments that I get, and it really does, it's hard to even put into words. I smile when I read it, and it motivates me to continue trying my best to put out the best content that I can. And it's nice to know that there are people out there who also value the things that I value. And that was the whole point in me trying my best to put out content, so we can create this community of people who value self-development and value presence, and in a way that is hopefully going to inspire you to take that leap and do the things that you want to do, while knowing that you should have confidence in who you are and just being yourself. So in today's recording, or today's episode, I was thinking about what I wanted to speak about, and normally I get inspiration to make these episodes from things that are directly going on in my life, and then I want to share them. Or there's something I read or something that I listen to that inspires these videos. And quite a while back, I'd say maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, I came up with a list of principles in addition to the goals that I wanted to go after for the year. Principles to live by, things that I stand for and things that mean a lot to me. And if I'm able to lean on these principles, reaching my goals is just going to be a lot easier. If I can live by these values and principles, taking steps every single day towards becoming the best version of myself and building what I'm building and doing the things that I want to do, it's just a lot easier because I'm able to lean on something. It's like your foundation as a person. And I'm pretty sure I've put together a podcast recording talking about having values, having principles in addition to your goals, so you can lean on those values and principles. And if I haven't, I will definitely make a video talking about them. But I was going over these principles that I have, these values that I have as a person. And one of the values that I put together is the importance of honesty and the importance of transparency within yourself and within your life generally. And that's what I want to talk about in today's recording. Being completely honest and transparent in your life, with yourself, with others, allows you to develop and grow any sort of relationship. Whether it be a personal relationship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship, being consistently honest and transparent allows you to work through any issue and come to solutions a lot quicker and much easier. Whenever you feel like there is any sort of conflict that arises within a particular relationship that you may have, or a friendship, or something that you're battling internally, a conflict that you may be having within yourself, being fully honest and transparent immediately, right away, will allow you to deal with any sort of problem that you have in a much more effective manner. You're able to come to solutions head on because you're dealing with the problem head on, and you're able to come to solutions way quicker because you're honest, you're transparent, and you aren't trying to hide certain things with yourself, with other people. You aren't trying to fluff certain things to make it seem like it's not that bad. If you can just be direct and honest and transparent with yourself, with others, solutions are going to be able to arise instantly. And if it's not instant, it's going to be much quicker than if you tried to beat around the bush. Now, being honest and transparent with other people is very important. But in my opinion, you can't be fully honest and transparent with others if you are not first honest and transparent with yourself, within yourself. Just like many other things in life, sometimes it's very important to start with you, start with yourself, and realize that if you haven't taken the time to sit with yourself and be honest with where you are, with who you are, with where you are now in comparison to where you see yourself, where you want yourself to be, if you don't feel like you're in alignment with the most pure, true version of you, then how are you supposed to be completely honest, transparent with other people? If you haven't taken the time to look within yourself and discover yourself and know what it is you truly want, you're not going to be able to communicate anything in complete transparency with other people. You aren't going to be able to communicate and portray that to others. If you're operating truthfully, if you are doing everything you can to be as transparent and honest as you can be, then you're going to be in alignment with your authentic self, which is your most ideal self. But it all starts with you, like I said. I think a lot of people don't take the necessary time to get to know themselves on a deep level. And once you start doing that, you're going to be able to be more effective at being honest and transparent with other people. And it happens on many different levels. Because you're more confident in who you are, because you know yourself, you're not going to be afraid to tell somebody something that they may not want to hear. But if it's important for them to hear it, you're going to be more confident in relaying that to others. Also, if you're confident in who you are and where you're going and you know yourself, you have that relationship that you know you need to have with yourself in order for you to get to where it is you want to go, and you've been honest and truthful and transparent within yourself, then clearly you have set some sort of standard in your life, some standard that you hold yourself accountable to. And if that's the case, then you know the importance of being honest with other people. You're not going to lie and be deceitful and try steering people the wrong way just because it's not in alignment with the standard that you set and how you carry yourself, how you want to carry yourself. So it's just going to become second nature for you to act in a way that will allow you to convey yourself honestly and with transparency when you're communicating with others and in relationships with other people. Before you do anything, before you engage in a new relationship with somebody, before you start working on whatever it is you're working on, being completely honest and transparent with yourself and asking yourself, does what I'm doing right now align with my vision? Does it align with who I see myself becoming? With the person that I want to become? Will this help me in my endeavors? Will this help me, period? If you're not honest with yourself in those circumstances, you're not going to be in alignment and you're not going to help yourself. You're not going to get to where it is you want to go if you're not being honest with yourself. And having that level of self-awareness and accountability, self-accountability, is incredibly important, at least in my opinion. If you are someone who has a goal or wants to improve in some area and you're not holding yourself accountable and you're not being honest with yourself, how do you really expect to get to the places that you want to get to? It's just not going to happen. It may not be the prettiest of things that you do. It may not be the nicest thing for yourself to hear from yourself. If you actually lay everything down and you're like, okay, why is this working? You're just being honest, completely transparent within yourself. Why is this working? Why isn't this working? Why aren't I making progress? In what areas am I making progress? And you're just being honest. That is going to help you get to where it is you want to go. Because you're laying everything down. You're just being completely transparent. All the walls are going down. And you can apply this to your relationships too. If there's a relationship that you have in your life that you aren't happy with, if you can just be honest and transparent with that person and just say, this is why things are working, this is why things aren't working. Like I said, it may not be the prettiest of things to do. It may be uncomfortable. It may require you to step outside of your comfort zone, but I can guarantee you once you do an exercise like that, once you participate in an activity like that, that's just, like I said, all walls down and you're just talking, especially if you're talking to someone or engaging with someone who wants to grow with you. Like things may not be going well, but like you're both on the same team and you both want to grow and improve together and help each other out. You're going to get a lot closer to where it is you want to go, and you're going to break through that barrier. You're going to come to solutions much easier, like I said at the first point, when you do something like that. And it's not pretty, but it's honest, and honesty sometimes can come in many different forms, and it's not always the prettiest. And I'm sure I've said this before, talking about, setting your standard and trying to be professional in the things that you do. But before you do anything, asking yourself, does this really align with where I'm going? Does this align with my vision? I have an image in my head of what it is I want to do and where it is I want to go. Do the actions that I'm taking right now, are they in alignment with that? And I don't even mean massive action. Of course, that's included, but I mean the small things, like how you speak and your energy. Like, are you coming off in a way that is rude, or are you trying to be as open as you can be, and are you trying to provide as much value as you can to other people? Think about like the small nuances, because it's all going to make a difference. And that's why I said at the beginning, like self-awareness is key in this, and self-accountability. It's not always going to be pretty, but just asking yourself, before you do anything, honesty, transparency, does this align with my vision? Does this align with the person that I want to become? And if the answer is no, then you change it. And if the answer is yes, then you continue it. But it does require that level of self-awareness and self-accountability at the beginning, which may not always be pretty. But the truth isn't always pretty, and that's just the way that it is. Clear and honest communication between yourself and others is critical. It's crucial. Clear and honest communication between you and you is also critical. You can't hold anything back that you think is important or that is the truth. Always speak your truth. If something is important to you and you think it should be addressed, whether you're talking to somebody else, somebody that you love, somebody that's close to you, or you're talking to you, because those inner conversations, that inner dialogue, those are some of the most important conversations you are ever going to have. The conversations that you have within. If you're not speaking your truth, more conflict is going to arise. Now, again, every situation is different, and you're going to have to gauge based on your situation what should be said, how things should be said, and that, again, requires a certain level of self-awareness. But as a general rule of thumb, speaking your truth and being as honest as you can be, being as transparent as you can be, and just laying everything out on the table, at least in my opinion, is probably one of the better things that you could be doing. And it should be at least considered. Now, again, I don't know everyone's situation. I'm just talking from my experience. You're going to feel a lot better when you're operating from your own truth and you speak your truth and you're in alignment with that truth. I get asked all the time about building that relationship up with yourself and really allowing yourself to become a magnet to all the great things that you want in life, because you're just in love with life, because you love yourself, and not in a narcissistic, like self-conceited way, but just in a way that you're happy with who you are, you're content, and you're excited for more. You want to grow and you want to get better, and you're applying certain principles in your life to improve, and you're doing everything right in terms of, you're working out and you're elevating your level of energy and you're eating well and you're meditating and you're practicing being present and you're giving more to other people and you're reading and you're studying and you're doing all these things. All the great things that come with engaging in self-development practices. But how do you really get to that point where you're doing all these things and you're really truly elevating yourself and your state of being? How do you get to that point? And I think a very important way is just being honest and transparent within yourself and having those conversations internally frequently We all know the types of things that we should be doing. We all know the types of things that we probably shouldn't be doing. And when you do more of the things that you should be doing than the things that you shouldn't be doing, then you're going to trust yourself more. You're going to be more in alignment with the most ideal version of yourself, the most authentic version of you, and things are going to go your way. Opportunities are going to come your way. You're going to start to flow. You're going to start to feel like you're flowing through life. Energy is high. Opportunities come to you. Good luck comes to you. But it starts with being honest and transparent within yourself. Because guess what? If you are engaging in activities that you know you probably shouldn't be engaging in, you're not telling yourself the truth, being like, listen, I know I shouldn't be doing these things, but I'm doing them anyways, and you just continue to do them, you're not being transparent within, you're going to feel that. Your energy isn't going to be as high. You're not going to be vibrating in a good spot. And things aren't going to go your way. It starts with being transparent. Like, listen, I know I shouldn't be doing this, and I'm going to stop doing this. And I know the types of things that I should be doing, and I'm going to be doing more of them because I know it's important to me, and I have a goal that I want to work towards and a place that I see myself getting to. And I know that if I do this consistently, I'm going to get there. You can't start taking those actions in the right direction if you aren't honest with yourself, if you aren't transparent within yourself. And the same thing is true with any other relationship. If you're not telling the truth, if you're lying, if you're being deceitful, that's when conflict compounds. And it's going to affect the relationship. Being honest, being transparent, and setting that as the foundation before you even get into a relationship with this person. And again, it could be romantic, it could be a business relationship, whatever it is. If you are in that relationship and you know that the other person is always going to tell you the truth, they're always going to be honest as they can be, and they're always going to be transparent with you, you have that foundational level, and everything is just built upon that because you know that other person isn't going to go behind your back and not tell you something that you probably should know. It's not that complicated, and it's something that I think if we can all apply to our personal relationships, like the relationship that we have within and the relationship that we have with other people, then those relationships are going to grow. They're going to get better. They're going to compound in a positive way. And you're able to build upon that in incredible ways in many different areas, many different facets of your life. So with the relationship that you have with you, with the relationship that you have with other people, strive to be as honest and transparent as you possibly can be. And know that clear and honest communication within yourself is key. Start with you. If you can't be honest with yourself, I feel like you may have a hard time being honest with others, and that is negatively going to affect your relationship with other people, at least in my opinion. It's going to be a lot harder to grow that relationship if you are not being honest. So start with you. Start learning to have a better relationship with yourself and hold yourself to a certain standard. Develop a vision for your life. Get clear about the things that you want. Be honest with yourself. Tell yourself when you're not meeting that expectation or that standard. It requires a certain level of self-awareness, and it acquires a certain level of accountability within. And I think that you develop those things, at least in my opinion, and this is something that I've noticed in my life, the more time that I get comfortable alone, the more time that I get comfortable just being in my own skin, and just spending time with myself and going for walks and thinking about certain things, that's when I'm able to become more self-aware. I feel like I know myself well because I spend a lot of time with myself. And I think that makes sense. If you were starting to see somebody, let's say romantically, the more time that you spend with that person, the more you are going to get to know that person. And the more you get to know that person, then there's a possibility that your relationship with that person is going to improve. And the same is true with the relationship that you have with yourself. I think in order to become more self-aware, you got to spend more time with you and spend genuine time with you. Really sit with yourself and figure out who it is you are and where it is you want to go and the kind of things that you want to do with your life. If you have a hard time spending time by yourself, that should be something that I think you should explore. Start to see why that's the case. And if you can, go for walks by yourself without headphones, Don't listen to music or a book or a podcast, even if it's a self-development podcast like this one. Just be with your own thoughts. See what comes up. Developing that relationship with yourself, being honest and transparent with yourself is key. So that's all I really wanted to get across in this episode. Clear, honest communication with you and with other people. Strive to be as honest and transparent as you can be, and watch and see the relationship that you have with yourself thrive, and watch and see the relationship that you have with other people thrive as well. So again, that's all I wanted to get across in this recording. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a part of the Presence of Being community. If you haven't yet left a review on this podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, I'm always happy to chat. You can message me on Instagram at Presence of Being. And that's it. Thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next recording.